Hey guys. So we're going to do something a little different with the energy reading. I'm still going to post, a synopsis of the reading in on my main account, of course, the picture. But I thought it would be cool just to do this reading right now. Um I know that on here we only have 10 minutes to do this reading. So I'm going to do a spread that I've created for the month. Um, Lately, to say it's been transformative energy is kind of like, oh, I'm trying to come up with an analogy and I can't. It's been rough for some people. And some of us understand what this means, especially with the full moon in Aries. It seemed that whatever needed to be purged is purging now, and it's purging hard. There's also, I've noticed a lot of sickness. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family. Um, I've seen a lot of, I mean, big changes, huge changes. And I'm not just talking about like, you got a new car or, uh, you know, there have been breakups, but nothing like that. No, they're major, like losing your job, switching jobs, family members, you know, getting really, really sick or the start of some things. So try to take care of yourselves. Try to stay in positive energy and be aware of the lessons that are in store for these hard times. And then in a way, it's also pushed us towards spiritual growth. You know, it's pushed us towards being sure about who we are, what we're about. Well, there we go. What we know. It's just a pull cards, but I'll take it. Um, like I said, it's for some of us. A lot of us probably aren't talking about it. I know I've been struggling in talking about it. Um, but anyway, on to the reading. We are wanting the energy for October 2018. Okay, we have two cards. I'll start pulling them here in a minute. But, like I said, it's nothing that they're major in the way that it's definitely not anything to be ignored or undermined. It's something that is at the forefront. And a lot of people are experiencing it, even in my inner circle. And me, personally, it's been a very challenging, last week was extremely challenging, but as we're coming into October, I see that we have a different energy coming in. The energy of this month is the King of Cups. Now, I think I just posted about the Queen of Cups and what it means. It definitely has to do with emotions. The King of Cups is, you could be dealing with a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer. It doesn't have to be a man just because it's king. We all have the divine feminine and the divine masculine within us. It's that balance. Or if you're non-binary, that's chill. But generally speaking, the King of Cups is, I'm getting entrepreneur. A lot of us are trying to create a life that is emotionally fulfilling for ourselves. And I think this month's focus is that. How do we get there? And also trusting and surrendering to what's to come, surrendering to whatever events lead us there, including the hardships that we might have faced this past week. Something to release, we have the Hangman. And I'm going to try and clarify this Hangman because the Hangman is you see a man hanging from his foot, you don't think he's having a good time. I mean, I wouldn't have a good time. But really, it's a meditative state. You're reflecting on your options. You're reflecting on, it could be, another thing I'm getting is if you had an image of how your life should have been and it's kind of keeping you stuck, release it. There we go. Yep. So if you've been working hard on a project or been working hard at a job and trying to make it fulfill that part of you, that emotional fulfillment, that we're all trying to aim for right now, and it's just not working, you cannot force this shit. You have to let it flow. Now, I know that for a lot of people, like, this is their financial stability. Maybe you need to just look at it in a different way. If you're providing for your family, it's like, I go to this job to put food on the table, and that fulfills me in some way. Maybe it's just a new perspective, but you've been working hard and you are trying to build something. And I feel like there's some kind of attachment to this, and it's hard for us, I should say, to release. And I've been struggling with the same thing, fam. Like, this shit isn't unheard of. So some of us may have to reevaluate a relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a friendship. But we have the Lovers in reverse, and the Lovers is a Gemini card. So you could be dealing with a Gemini that you might have to reevaluate your relationship with them. But also it's reversed. So there might be a lot of turmoil in the love department. Maybe it's just being rejected altogether. It's time to think twice about that. It's time to, there might have been some cheating or sneakiness going on. Or maybe just dissatisfaction. It's one or the other. I feel like there are some people who need to reevaluate whether they've gotten in a new relationship or they've been in this relationship. They need to figure out why they're in it, because it could be deceiving even to ourselves why we're there. So, for example, I was talking to a friend, and the difference is, a lot of us get into relationships and we're just like, this person's gonna make me happy and all this jazz, or we're afraid to be alone. But the thing is that when we do that, we're not entering a relationship in a selfless way. We're entering a relationship to fulfill us in some way. That is selfish in itself. It's that need for validation outside of ourselves. So there might be it could be that someone's being sneaky in romance, or maybe someone's rejecting romance altogether, but secretly wanting it. But a really strong one that I'm feeling is that we need to reevaluate why we're in the relationships that we're in. And who do we really want it to benefit? Because if you're getting into a relationship for selfish reasons, it's bound to blow up. That's more than just personal experience, coming into play. So another thing for this month that we might need to give special attention to is ourselves. When we're trying so hard to build something in our lives, and we're trying so hard to feel fulfilled in our lives, we don't necessarily look to ourselves. We don't necessarily look to personal growth first. We look to something outside of ourselves. And that is what I'm getting with this. Now, I see that we do come into a place where we recognize how certain things have worn us down and how they had to be released and how to take care of ourselves. But for some of us, if this does resonate with you, I just dropped all those cards. Oh, hell. But what I'm seeing is that, and I know this from personal experience. Hold on, guys. I just dropped all of these cards, and I don't think they were all for this reading. what I'm seeing is that take a look at yourself. Take some time for yourself. Sometimes we feel like, and it's definitely needed. Friends are needed. Companions are needed in this journey. Sometimes when we feel like we're in the cold and we're alone. But at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. And if you don't know what that means, if you've never taken time to truly sit alone in the quiet with yourself and recognize what parts hurt, why it's so hard to be by yourself, maybe, you're going to get worn out and you're going to end up in places that don't resonate with you and you're going to end up in places that make you miserable. But we come out of it. Ten of Swords in reverse. So we come out of it. We recognize that, we recognize our worth first off, and we kind of go for that. We got 2 minutes, y'all. I might have to make a second video. So that is something that we have neglected. Well, I'll make 2 separate videos if I have to. I have some announcements. So what I'm seeing so far, the overall energy of this reading, we're trying to feel emotionally fulfilled, and we've been working hard at it, and we've been trying to manifest this, but we're holding on to something way too tight. I think we're holding on to this grand picture of this fulfilling life of love and business and success, and we're just so attached to it that we're not seeing what cycles we're in, what's toxic to our lives, if someone's really good for us, if this job is really good for us. Maybe we're not even putting in action, what we want to do, that entrepreneurial, I can't English today, but that certain vibe. And it's been one of those things where we have to detach from what we feel should have been, or what we thought should have been. And I feel like sometimes we distract ourselves from the real work that it takes to have a fulfilling life. And that includes getting to know yourself, figuring out what would fulfill you, at least for now, in this moment. What would be a fulfilling life for us? And that's something to definitely think about.